Hey Cowboys Nation, let's go for another round of news from America's team. Watch until the end so you don't miss any news and sign up to stay tuned for everything that comes out about the Cowboys.
Dallas Cowboys star QB Dak Prescott says he's having his best offseason. There are tons of rumors and speculation on Dak Prescott's future with the Dallas Cowboys, but Doc is focused on this upcoming season and says that he's having his best offseason to date. Dallas Cowboys head coach Mike McCarthy is very impressed with Doc thus far. I think Doc is having his best offseason program that we've had. This atmosphere that we've practiced in with the quarterback and receivers has really hit the mark. I've been very impressed with the quality of work. Dak Prescott also has had a lot to say, with rumors like his next contract with or not with Dallas is rumored to be earth-shattering. Doc is very confident in his team, despite some big losses like Tony Pollard to Tennessee. You don't win games with just talent, said Prescott of the team losing veteran talent this offseason. You don't win games on paper, and talent is really not decided on paper. I understand what it looks like, what it may look like from the outside. I understand the lack of moves creates that conversation, but I'm confident. Dak Prescott has more confidence in his second season under Mike McCarthy's offense, stating that things are faster. Things are faster off the line from the huddle, said Prescott. Through the play to the scramble drill, and if the play doesn't work, we are truly understanding. It's what this game means to me. I talk about it every season. My focus is always getting better in every way that I can, every aspect of my game, and making sure I push the other people around me. There is some serious doubt in the Cowboys after another terrible postseason after a great regular season, which ended with a blowout loss to Jordan Love and the Green Bay Packers. Despite that, Doc and the Cowboys are motivated from the disappointment in multiple ways. I mean, that's got to motivate you individually as a man, and then obviously as a football player too, said Prescott of the team's uncharacteristic performance in the 2023 playoffs. At this point, it's about improving on where we are. We're in a much better place right now than we were a year ago at this time. It's about continuing to make those steps. And yeah, that'll always be a motivation factor, depending on who you are, what you did in that game, and how it played out. Proposed blockbuster trade has Cowboys swap CeeDee Lamb for Steelers star. The Dallas Cowboys face a decision when it comes to the future of star wide receiver CeeDee Lamb, who is holding out of mandatory minicamp practices while he seeks a new contract. Lamb is heading into the final season of his rookie deal with Dallas. Chances are the two sides will eventually agree to a lucrative contract extension. Yet, if the Cowboys are unable to reach a new agreement with Lamb, could the team consider a potential blockbuster trade? Bleacher Report's Brad Gagnon explored this idea with 4 potential trade packages involving Lamb. One of the more intriguing options would send Lamb to the team's historic rival, Pittsburgh Steelers. Dallas would acquire Steelers standout receiver George Pickens and a second-round pick in the proposed deal. George Pickens is established in the NFL despite being just 23, Gagnon wrote in a June 6, 2024 story titled 4 Trade Packages for CeeDee Lamb that Cowboys couldn't deny amid NFL holdout. Still, the Steelers could opt to maximize their weapons for Russell Wilson and Justin Fields. Because Pickens is coming off a 1,000-yard sophomore season, this would be slightly closer to a player-for-player deal, with Dallas saving money and gaining some draft capital and Pittsburgh doing everything in its power to get this right, Gagnon added. This move makes quite a lot of sense considering the Steelers are in better cap shape than the Cowboys. Cowboys news. Owner Jerry Jones discussed the idea of adding more players versus keeping CeeDee Lamb. Some Cowboys fans would surely object to the idea, but let's consider what owner Jerry Jones said earlier this offseason. Unprompted, Jones discussed the idea of paying Lamb versus adding multiple players for the same price. He's out there, and he's more valuable than anybody else, Jones remarked on March 26. Per Dallas Cowboys, comms Nick Harris. But that valuable? To have to give up 4 or 5 players to have him, you have to get that reconciled. That's what I'm trying to say. It's a lot quicker and easier said than done. Whoever has CeeDee, and I hope it's us, they're going to use him, Jones added. You just have to get that kind of mileage out of him. What has he shown us? That he's capable of carrying that load. We've got to have focus. Cowboys rumors. Dallas likely passes on trading CeeDee Lamb. The good news for Cowboys fans is Jones says a lot of things that rarely come true. Dallas might have learned its lesson after trading away Amari Cooper to the Cleveland Browns for a late-round pick swap. The move did not turn out great for the Cowboys, but it did allow Lamb to emerge as one of the NFL's top receivers. Pickens is a solid wideout who is coming off 63 receptions for 1,140 yards and 5 touchdowns in 17 appearances during the 2023 season. The receiver is also on a team-friendly 4-year, $6.7 million rookie deal, which could have appeal to Dallas. Pickens has 2 seasons remaining on this contract, but eventually the receiver will be due for a raise. Just like Lamb, Dallas can continue to kick the can down the road, but if the team wants to have an elite receiver, the franchise is going to have to eventually pay. Spotrac projects Lamb's market value to be a 4-year, $136.1 million contract. The price is only going up for star receivers like Lamb. Ultimately, the Cowboys are likely to come to their senses and ink the playmaker to a lucrative new deal. This means passing on enticing trades for the star wideout. Cowboys QB Dak Prescott's offseason progress draws eye-opening Mike McCarthy take. For what is seemingly the 273rd consecutive summer, the Dallas Cowboys have gotten to work with a sour taste left in their mouth from the end of the previous season, with hopes that this year might be different. Now, for all we know, this year could be different. Dallas certainly has the pieces in place. And if the previous 3 regular seasons are any indication, the Dallas Cowboys will be in the hunt for another NFC East title this year. But whether or not the Dallas Cowboys take the next step toward true Super Bowl contendership will ultimately come down to the contributions of 2 men, head coach Mike McCarthy and quarterback Dak Prescott. As the head coach of the Green Bay Packers, Mike McCarthy has been to the Promised Land before, winning a Super Bowl in 2011. And while Dak Prescott has never advanced further than the divisional round of the NFL playoffs, he's coming off of what was certainly the best season of his career. Apparently, that momentum has carried into the offseason because on Thursday afternoon, McCarthy stated that Doc is also having his best offseason program. Per Dallas Cowboys beat writer John Makota of The Athletic, he's had really good off-season programs the whole time, but this atmosphere that we practice in with the quarterback and receivers has really hit the mark. I've been very impressed with the quality of work. When told about what his coach had to say about him, Dak Prescott agreed, "I talk about it every offseason. Any chance we talk, my focus is always getting better overall in every way that I can, every aspect of my game, making sure I push the other people around me." Mike's comments are the result of us doing that from the time the offseason began, from before the offseason began with the team activities. Us guys getting together. Really, the growth in my play and the jump I'm making in the second year in his offense as well, being more comfortable with the footwork. The receivers around me, their second year in it, they're more comfortable, they're more confident. Dak Prescott looks to build on 2023's MVP caliber campaign. While most football fans will only focus on the way that the postseason ended for the Dak Prescott and the Dallas Cowboys this past January, I instead want to shift the focus to the considerable strides that Prescott made from the season prior. Remember, heading into the 2023 season, Dak Prescott was just 1 year removed from throwing a league-leading 15 interceptions in only 12 games in 2022. During training camp, Doc made waves by promising to throw fewer than 10 interceptions all season long. But despite having many skeptics, he kept his word, throwing just 9 picks last year despite playing in all 17 games. It wasn't just the cut down on turnovers that carried Dak Prescott to a second-place finish in MVP voting. Across the board, his numbers: 4,516 yards, third in league; 36 touchdowns, first in league; 105.9 passer rating, second in league; 72.7 QBR, second in league; 69.5 completion percentage, second in league, were arguably the best of any quarterback in the league last year. Doc will never get the recognition he likely deserves until Dallas has more success in the postseason, and he's running out of chances. The Cowboys have been non-committal on inking Prescott to a new deal, and his existing contract expires at the end of the 2024 season. Prescott is already 30 years old and holds numerous Cowboys franchise records, but his days in Dallas could possibly be numbered.